Good afternoon, my people. What is going on? It is your man, Charles Tank Harris, the founder and chief visionary officer of the financial literacy platform Wealth Our Way, where our motto is wealth is not only for the wealthy. Today is Wednesday, May the 26th. Man, this year is flying by. I want to say thank you and just give much gratitude to those of you who are watching this live as we stream on Facebook and YouTube. And as always, a special shout out to Wealth Our Way Nation that watches this overnight, over the weekends, or wherever they can squeeze 15 minutes of financial literacy in. I am excited today. You see, I got nature behind me. It's always a beautiful thing to have a sunny day, to have the birds chirping, to have the sun just glistening all over you. And that sounds a little extra, but I'm very happy to be outside, to be able to bring you financial information and literacy while I take in nature myself. So today's topic is one that I think is getting a little too confusing for people because this is a simple concept, but everything is not simple for everyone. And I'm your financial literacy tour guide. So I wanted to break down for you guys what dollar cost averaging is. I also want to talk about why I am a proponent of dollar cost averaging, because there are people who think dollar cost averaging is a bunch of hooey and we shouldn't do it. Then I also want to talk about a concept that I see on the internet being misconstrued and improperly explained as dollar cost averaging, when in actuality it is what we call averaging down, because there is a difference between having a dollar cost averaging strategy in place and averaging down on a particular investment. So that's what we're going to cover today. And we're going to, for first of all, I'll be remiss. I don't know if you guys, I hope you missed her because she's a invaluable member of the team. My assistant, Renee, her birthday was yesterday, so she wasn't on the call yesterday. She's back. And I want everybody to say happy birthday, give her flowers while she's with us. Always appreciate Renee and the support that she shows the Wealth Our Way team, family, and Wealth Our Way Nation. We couldn't get stuff done here without Renee, and we appreciate you. Happy birthday. Fist pump. So with that being said, we're going to get into dollar cost averaging. What does it mean to dollar cost average? So I'm going to give you the tank definition. Then I'm going to, use my vernacular and explanations to how I break it down. To dollar cost average means that you have, first and foremost, you've picked an investment. Now, that investment can be one thing or it could be multiple things. It could be a portfolio. When you dollar cost average, you have determined a dollar amount, and the dollar amount is what you have picked, and it's set in stone, so to speak. I'll talk about how sometimes we'll chisel away at the stone, but we pick the dollar amount. The second thing we do is we pick the frequency upon which we want to invest that dollar amount. So let's just go with quarterly right now. Let's say that every quarter, a quarter is every 3 months. Every 3 months, we're going to take $1,500 and we're going to invest it. So we have those two components. We have the amount, 1,500. We have the time frame, every 3 months. Then we have the target, the investment that we're picking. In this case, let's say it's the S&P 500 Index Mutual Fund. Those are the three things we need. We need what we are investing in. We need the time frame in which we're going to invest it, and we need the dollar amount. Once you have those three things, you're done. That is dollar cost averaging. You set it and forget it, like the old infomercials that we used to hear when we were children. You can have it automatically withdrawn from your bank account. You can have it automatically withdrawn from your paycheck. You can do a lot of different ways, or you can write a check. I'm a fan of automatic. I'm a fan of setting it and forgetting it and not having something come up in life that makes us say, oh, this quarter, I don't have 1,500. We make the decision. We stick with the decision. Now, I've said this to you guys many times over our broadcast, but I'm going to tell you, put you in a little secret if you don't remember me telling you this. Most of you already are dollar cost averaging. Most of you have a job. Most of you have a 401k, or a 403B or a 457 plan. And every time you get paid, some percentage of your salary goes into that 401k, 403B, or 457 plan. That is dollar cost averaging, my friends. Let's say, for instance, you are putting 5% of your salary every time you get paid, and you get paid on the 15th and the 30th. You have mutual funds inside of your 401k. Those are the three things. How much? 5% of your salary. When? Twice a month. Into what? The investments that are inside of my 401k. That is dollar cost averaging. So that's the definition. Why do we do it? Why is it important to do? It's important to dollar cost average because, as we know, if we've experienced it or we just watched it on TV, the market, and when I talk about the market, I'm talking about the stock market, it does not go straight up. Over time, it always ends up higher, but it doesn't go straight up. It goes up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. If you put all of your money in at once, and the very next thing that happens is the market goes down 30%, you're going to be sad. Some people are going to quit. Some people are going to say, give me back my money. That was a bad idea. But if you told yourself, I'm going to take 1/12 of my money, and on the first of every month for the next year, I'm going to put 1/12 into the S&P 500. As it's going up and down, a couple of things are happening. First of all, it goes down. So, because there's only three things that can happen. It can go down, it can go up, or it can stay the same. It goes down. What happened to you? The 12th that you put in is worth less now. Okay, you're sad about that. You're happy for two reasons. 11/12 of your money didn't go down at all. So you're happy about that. And when you go to put in the next 12th, you're getting the market on sale. You're going to buy more of it because it's cheaper. Let's say the other thing happened. The market goes up. You're happy because 1/12 of your money went up. You're a little disappointed that you didn't put it all in because we're greedy. We wish we'd have put it all in. But I've never had a lengthy argument with anybody about them not making too much money. I get into a lot of arguments with people about them losing money. So always remember that. You feel better. It feels much, much worse to lose than it feels good to gain. So the third thing is it could have stayed exactly the same. No harm, no foul. You put 1/12 in, it didn't change. When you go to put the second 12th in, you're buying it at the same cost. So I'm a football guy. I remember when football, I wasn't alive then, but I'm a historian of football. When they said all they used to do when football first came out was run the ball, nobody threw passes. Then somebody decided to be a good idea to do the forward pass. You had some diehard football people who said, I don't like the forward pass because three things can happen and two of them are bad. The pass can get dropped or it can get intercepted. Only good thing is if it gets caught and we move forward. Investment makes people feel the same way. Three things can happen. Two of them are bad. I could lose money or make no money. Only one is good. I make money. Over time, you always make money. So we want to get into the market. The reason I like dollar cost averaging is psychologically and emotionally, it makes people more comfortable. As I've told you, I've been reading this book, The 5 Mistakes Every Investor Makes, and that gentleman is not a fan of dollar cost averaging. He says that he's done many, many studies have been done over the past 150 years. And in general, dollar cost averaging actually returns slightly less than if you would have put all your money in at one time. There's only like 3% of the time over certain time frames where dollar cost averaging would have made you more. But I got to tell you a little story about that because I want to let you benefit from my investment experience as an advisor. In 2008, the market went down, I want to say 47%. It was crazy, 47, 57%. I always tell you guys to check the numbers on Google. I can't remember every number, but the market went down a whole hell of a lot. I, at that point in time, was a business manager to professional athletes. I wasn't handling their money the same way I don't handle you guys' money. I was giving them advice. I had all these clients calling me up, telling me they were going to call their brokerage firm and pull their money out of their accounts. And I was telling them, no, it's the worst thing you could do. It's going to come back. In fact, if you have any money that's on the sideline, throw that in because it's going to come back and it's going to be good. Now we have hindsight right now to prove that I was right. it's always right. There's never been a bear market that wasn't followed by a bull market. We always go up over time. I had a client in 2013 when I went back into investments and I was selling investments, about to buy a variable annuity. And, we can argue all day if variable annuities are good ideas or bad ideas. For this particular client, it was a perfect idea for his situation. The variable annuity had a feature in it called the investment protection rider. Long story short, without going into too much detail, it guaranteed that over any 12-year period, he would never lose money. That whatever he put in on day one, 12 years later, he would have at least that. If the market went down 90%, the company was promising him he'd have all his money. He wanted that rider. The rider cost 2/3 of 1% every year. It cost 65 basis points. I was explaining to him, don't get the rider. Don't pay the extra 2/3 of 1%. There has never been a 12-year period where the market has returned less than it had 12 years prior. You're about to pay 2/3 of 1% every year for the rest of your life for security that you don't even need. And he and I were arguing back and forth about this. And he was telling me he didn't want the annuity unless he could have that rider. So I went to my manager. I needed help because I wanted to, I want to do right by my client, and I didn't want him to pay this extra fee. My manager sat me down and asked me about 2008. He said, in 2008, did you have clients that wanted to pull their money out the market? I said, yes, I did. He said, how many about? I said, about 13. He said, what happened? I said, I convinced 10 of them to leave their money in the market. 3 of them pulled it out. He said, so you failed 3 of your clients. I said, yeah, because I know them pulling it out cost them money. It made them a mistake. He said, if you could have promised them that no matter what, no matter how bad things got, they were going to get all their money back, do you think those other 3 people would have stayed in? And I said, yeah, they probably would have if I could have made that promise, but we can't promise people stuff. He said, this rider is that promise. He said, I understand your argument that it costs too much every year. He said, but they're paying for the security. They're not paying for the return. They're paying for the security. They're paying so that they don't make the costly mistake of pulling it all out at the worst time and losing even more money. That's worth 2/3 of 1% to people. I had to concede that that was a valid argument, even though I disagreed with it. I let the client purchase it. Sure enough, the next year, we had a very significant dip in the market, and the client called me up and told me he didn't have to worry about nothing because he knew he was getting his money back guaranteed. So the moral of the story is with dollar cost averaging, you will, over a 50, 60-year period, probably make slightly less money than if you threw all your money in at one time. But psychologically, you will know that in tough times, all of your money's not in, and you're getting to buy more money, more of the asset on sale when it goes down. With the last minute and a half, I want to talk to you about something that looks like dollar cost averaging, is explained as dollar cost averaging, but is not dollar cost averaging. That is called averaging down. Averaging down is when you already own something. You bought it at $30 a share because you thought it was going to go to $50 a share. And then all of a sudden, it starts going down. It goes from 30 to 25, from 25 to 20, from 20 to 15. You look at the fundamentals of the company and you say, nothing has changed. I don't understand why this is getting beat up, or whatever's wrong with the company is short term. And you say, I liked it at 30. I love it at 20. And you buy more at 20. If you owned 100 shares at 30 and now you buy 100 shares at 20, you own 200 shares with an average cost of 25. You've averaged down. The difference between averaging down and dollar cost averaging is it's a spot in time decision. It's not a system. It's not a process. You're looking at the data and you're deciding to lower your cost basis. So please understand the difference between dollar cost averaging and averaging down. They both have their place. If you ever have a question on either of those, you can email us at info@wealthourway.com. Tank@wealthourway.com, Renee@wealthourway.com. Renee gets hot with me for giving all of our email addresses out, but they're out, Renee, they're out. So just send an email. One of us will get back to you. You know we love you. We're going to make sure you have this information. And do remember, enjoy this beautiful day. and that wealth is not only for the wealthy. Take